Hey there everyone, welcome back to Gamevine, and my name is Dave, and today we are doing some more Dexterity board game videos, and this is a special one because I'm going to be taking 100 Dexterity board games that I've actually played and arranging them from 100 to number 1 being my favorite. Now I say the ones that I've played because there are definitely a ton out there that I haven't played, though I will honorably mention 5 of them because I'm pretty sure if I've played these they would have made the list. Let's go ahead and move on to those right now. The first one is Ascending Empires. Now this is a game, and I haven't looked too much into it, but it looks like it's a real in-depth kind of game, but you're flicking your ship around. It looked interesting. I wish I had played it, but it's really hard to find right now. The other one is, I always hear from Z on Dice Tower, and it's Troltofont, and it's a elephant game that has a tree, and you're using these little party blowers, favorite things, to grab things and bring leaves in. It seems really interesting. I cannot find it anywhere. If I could, I would buy it, definitely. I might have to make it myself. The second game is also another game that Z talks about a lot, and it's another Hava game, because Troltofont was another Hava game as well. This is Strong Stuff. Now Strong Stuff is a game where you're stacking hats on a bear. It's really interesting. I think you have to push it. It sounds really interesting, so that's why I just wanted to mention it. And also Catapult Kingdoms is a Kickstarter that I backed. It's almost like Catapults and crossbows and catapults, but it looks more in depth. You're seeing pictures right now, but it looks really interesting. If I would have had this in my hands, it definitely would be on the list. The last honorable mention is Igloo Pop. It's a game where you're picking up these little tiny igloos. They have little like BBs in them or marbles, and you have to guess how many are in them by listening to them. Very interesting. I think that's a dexterity game in my opinion, but it was worth a mention. Now let's go on to number 100. Let's go. Now if you haven't already noticed the game next to me, and this is from Capstone Games, and it's not a dexterity game really, but it looks beautiful and actually looks like a dexterity game. So I just got it and I wanted to display it. Look out for a review on this, and I thought this would just be good background for games that I don't actually have, because the games that I do have on my list, I will have them in hand so you can kind of see a box and some pictures that I'll display. So now let's get on to number 100 here, and it is... Alright, so number 100, I'm just lumping it in with every drawing game ever. If you really want to twist my arm, I'm going to put Doodle Quest, but I'm terrible at drawing. I didn't think that it would even make the list, but I had to put it on there just to kind of represent something. So again, this is any drawing game out there. There are some that are better than others, but if you had to twist my arm, I would have to put Doodle Quest here. Okay, on to the next one. Alright, so number 99 is Draken de Araken, I think that's how you say that, and it's barely makes it on here because its components are interesting and the game concept is interesting. You're basically taking your finger, balancing these fish on the board, and trying to dance or jiggle off a few meatballs to get cake. The cake is a lie, guys. So it's interesting for what it is. We do have a review on this if you want to check it out, but it sits comfortably here at 99. Alright, on to the next one. So the 98 is, everyone knows this one. This is Hungry Hungry Hippos. I have fond memories of Hungry Hungry Hippos growing up. It definitely is a dexterity game. Whoever can hit that trigger the fastest is definitely going to be the winner. And or if you live on a tilted floor, you are the one that is downstream. Make sure you know which way is leaning towards your benefit. It's really simple. I don't say much more. Hungry Hungry Hippos for 98. Next one here is Fruit Ninja Slice of Life, and this is where you're taking these little interesting sword knife things and you're picking up the fruits and you're moving them to different places, and sometimes you'll be slicing them in different ways, but it's interesting. I do like the property of Fruit Ninja, but I think it has been played out a long time ago. But having these cool little fruit and stuff like that with a knife, I picked this up for $4. So it was interesting. It was dexterity, and it sits here at 97. So 97, Fruit Ninja. All right, on to the next one. Alright, so the next one here, 96, is Perfection. And I had Perfection when I was younger. And it's low on the list because it's a very stressful game. I don't think I've ever completed it completely. But it was a fun game. I do remember playing it a lot because I didn't have many board games growing up. So it had to earn its spot on the dexterity list for me because you have to be pretty quick to put those little shapes. I can't find it anywhere. Not that I would buy it if I could. Okay, so let's move over to the next one. Let's go. Alright, the next one is the first of all the dexterity catapult games that we're going to be looking at. And this is Jumpin' Monkeys. I don't have this one, so again, look at the climbers as we talk about it. But it's a kid's game, and it's a simple catapult game where you're flicking these little monkeys on this tree that is a 3D kind of tree. It sounds cooler than what it is, but I had it for a little bit. Nothing great, but again, it's a catapult game and I am a sucker for those. So that is number 95. On to the next one. Let's go. Okay, so number 94 is Jungle Speed. This is the first of like the speed games, I think, in the list. And this is basically you're just trying to grab this item from in the middle here. There's not really much to it. Almost everyone that I've played board game with know this game. If you don't, well, you can look into it and find something out. But that's 94, very simply Jungle Speed and any variation of that. Alright, let's go over to the next one. So 93 is Princess and the Pea, and this is the first of the stacking games. And yeah, it's interesting. You're stacking up these cushions. There's been different variations of Princess and the Pea, but you have this little pea that's on the very bottom, so it makes it a little wonky. The stack that you're stacking of pillows, mattresses, and blankets, but I think it's just mattresses and pillows. And yeah, it's interesting stacking game from Hoppa. Nothing crazy, but it sits here at 93. Okay, on to the next one. Alright, so 92 is the next one, and I thought I had it, but I guess I don't, but here's a picture. It is Boom Boom Balloon. I had the Star Wars version of it, but this is definitely a dexterity game, knowing where to poke these sticks into this balloon so not to pop it. It sits down here in the 90s because it scares the crap out of some people, and every one of my partners that I've had has been a balloon fear person, so they don't like playing it. So me and the kid are the only ones to play this one. But it is interesting that you do have to stock up on balloons if you plan on playing quite a bit. So that is Boom Boom Balloon at 92. Alright, on to the very last one. Let's go. Alright, so the very last one here, 91, is Cobra Paw. Now we do have a review on this one. Very simply, it's got these domino tiles that it's a speed game. Rolling dice, it has symbols on each of the die, and it shows which one of the dominoes you have to grab. Whoever grabs it first is the winner of that round. Whoever grabs 5 of those wins. Now there is a mechanism on that you can take some other people's dice, well, not more of the domino if the dice comes up with them. So it's interesting, not very complex. Like I said, there's a review on this if you want to pick it up, want to watch it or pick it up. There's a link there. But that is the very last game on the list of Cobra Paw. So thank you so much for joining us in this very first 10 of the 100 of the dexterity games of my favorite that I've played personally. So thank you so much for joining me in this very first 10 of the 100 dexterity games of my favorite that I've played personally. And if you haven't already, click like and subscribe. Until next time that I see you, join me in the next 10 Air and Dexterity Week. My name is Dave. Have a great rest of your day and great time with all you play. Keep those fingers limber. Bye guys. Vine Nation, we love making content here for you on the channel, and we're almost at 10,000 subscribers, so subscribe now and help us out. This video right here, I think you'll like. This video right here, YouTube thinks you'll like. Or you can just sit here and watch me dance as a dinosaur for a little bit longer. You can visit us at our social media outlets, and we're going to be improving our Patreon here soon. That's all for today. Miko, it's time to go. Good girl, Miko.